As a project team leader, how do you ensure your team gets off to a good start? In today's project team leader learning section, I'm going to walk through a checklist, some job aids, and the skills that you'll need to ensure that your team gets off to a good start, create solid teamwork, and the team members learn new skill sets and want to work together again in the future. So to begin with, you are the project team leader. I'm going to use the word project manager and team leader interchangeably throughout this talk, but they mean the same thing. Essentially, as a team leader, you have the overall responsibility for making sure the work of the team gets done. These responsibilities start before the team even comes together. So ensuring there's a good start is really important. How a team begins and how you as a project team leader set the team up for success will make sure and also ensure that long-term success happens. Before the team even gets together, your job is to get things started. During the team project, you keep them on track, act as a primary point of contact for the rest of the organization, and work to gain stakeholder commitment to the project. Once the team is done, you capture the learning, document it, do an after-action review, and ensure the documentation and the changes put in place stick and are actually useful to the organization and the team. Here's a quick checklist for what to do before the first project team meeting. The largest task inside here is to define the project charter. Some groups use the word project document, scope document, team document, whatever you want to call it is fine. You need to begin drafting some kind of project charter and project documentation that will include the following. Number one, a project description. What is this project? Why are we doing it? What are the expectations? Next part is scope, defining what's in scope, out of scope. We talk about scope, think about scopes like boundaries, right? What are in boundary, what is out boundary? Who can we work with, who can we not work with? Defining this for the team will be helpful. Goals and measures. Inside here, you'll probably have some quantitative, some number-based goals and measurements, as well as some qualitative, people-based or non-numerical measurements and goals. Expected business results. If your project team is together, one primary question is, what is the expected business results for this project team? Who are the team members? Identifying team member skill sets, who's on the team, how to get things done. Make sure your project charter includes team members. Support required. If you need extra resources, time from quality assurance, quality improvement, finance, HR, other teams that are not part of your core project team, make sure you document that supports. Also, expected customer benefits. Realize that in some projects, you're focusing the process on external customers, those who receive your products or goods or services, or it may be focused on internal customers, those who work for you, employees, HR, QI, those kind of departments. Also, you're going to want to write a schedule. A schedule is going to be a way to check and make sure things are getting done. The project charter you're going to craft will be just a draft or a beginning document. What you're going to do with that is you're going to also identify who the team members will be. In the next checklist, I have skills on identifying which team members you want. You're going to contact team members. You want to contact team members early on and ask them to be part of the project. Also, with the team members that are on your team, you're going to need to ensure that they have time in their work to get this done, that their direct manager also knows that there is some time dedicated to this project and task, which is why you need to define the business expectations and customer benefits to show how an improvement in this process, product, or service, the team goal you're working on, will make the team members' lives better. You're going to also work on drafting the initial agenda for the meeting. What's the agenda going to look like? Who's going to be there? Why are they there? You're going to send out the preliminary charter that you wrote and ask for comments. A big piece is people have to recognize and feel they're part of the team. Yet you as a project team leader need to define the scope and the boundaries early on and then give them something to react off of. If you give them something to react off of to help clarify why they're there, who is on the team, and what they'll be doing, you'll get better feedback, and you'll also have them feel more involved in the team project. You're going to establish meeting logistics. Make sure everything works. If you're working on virtual teams, make sure you have the call-in numbers, the password stuff, the recording pieces. Make sure everybody has their cameras on in the virtual meeting. Create a process to make sure it's there. Work on those things. Nothing will upset or discredit your team leadership more than a poorly set up first meeting. Make sure everything is put in place. Also, you're going to create a proper way to begin the meeting. Check-ins, hellos, expectations. Create a relationship and expectation with the process owner. Whoever is going to receive the good or service or process improvement or change that you're doing, make sure you involve the process owner, those who actually own the process and the work early on. Incorporate people. Do a stakeholder analysis of those you have selected as team members. Also, begin to create a list of people outside the team whose support you will need. If you get these pieces done and you check off each of these boxes, you're already at a very good start to ensuring your team successful. And your project will be completed on time, on task, close to budgets. So if you have to choose team members, which I highly recommend that you have at least a say, if not the full say in who's on your project team. One thing that will crush your project team and your expectations or your responsibility is if you are forced to take on team members who you know cannot complete the work. If you are accountable for the output and the expectations of this project team, you have to have the ultimate say over who is on and not on your team to keep you accountable and have the authority to control those pieces. Here's some ideas on how to determine who are the right project team members. And be thoughtful about this. Number one, you want to consider including a combination of people who have detailed knowledge of the target process. Target process is what you want to achieve or what's being looked at being improved. Have the technical skills required to complete the project. So for example, if you're going to have to look at creating new internal coding and computer systems, you have to ensure folks have the skill sets to get that done. If you're going to be working with finance to look at how to do finance reporting and new ways to improve their efficiency, you have to identify that folks know what they're doing. If you're going to be working on a machining process or a machine turnover time, you have to ensure folks on your team know how to actually do the machine turnover time. If you do not know how to critique, understand, or add value to the other person's work, then you are not being a good team leader, and you ought not to be managing that project. You also have to find folks who can help build commitment and buy-in to the project and its outcome by being involved in the start. You want to find those folks who are your informal leaders inside the organization, who have strong connections and networks, who can make sure that there's a positive buzz and the feedback is good, that this project will make things more effective. You're going to want to also identify the main activities of the project and ensure you have the right people to handle them. Again, if you cannot get the right people to handle the project or the project tasks, it's going to be very hard for you to be accountable to the outcomes. Look in the work group of the target process and ensure that those who are closest to work are represented. This is the idea, again, of the Gemba, or using lean or Toyota language. People who are doing the project have to be close to the work. I was once involved in a process improvement project inside a manufacturing organization, and they were fixing the machine turnover time of the machinist that created screws. And the project team did not have any machinists on the project. The machinist rejected the idea right away. You have to include those who are actually doing the work on the project team. Include support groups, human resources, IT, marketing. Figure out whose buy-in is needed. If you're changing employee orientation, employee hiring, transfer processes, HR must be a part of it. Reach out to your support groups. They're there to help. Ensure finance is involved. Even if the project itself does not require any financial investment, no resources, no budget, if it's a fully internal piece, also include them. Finance is a strategic partner in your organization to ensure your work gets done. Keep them involved. Include team members that can represent internal and external customers and suppliers. You may want to call vendors on your team or make them part-time team members. Be thoughtful about how you involve the community in your project and make sure their feedback is there. With team members, the important part is to keep going back to asking yourself, why is this team together? Who can best support the project and ensure that the change is accepted, the cooperation happens, the buy-in takes place, that we can get the work done. And then from that piece, identify trust, areas of trust and inclusion, and also what they're going to do by when. Include in all your goals a who, who's doing it, a what are they doing, and by when with a date for the projects. And incorporate that in your project charter and your team goals. Here's some ideas for the first meeting kickoff. So now you've identified your project charter, you've written down some of the why are we here, who's on the team, what are we going to do, and identified some how things will get done. At this point now, you're going to have a meeting, a kickoff meeting to the projects. In the agenda, make sure you include the following. Welcome. Welcome and introductions. Take time to allow people to get to know each other. Allow some human interaction, some softness. Make sure people know who you are, what your accountability is, what your role relationship will be with them, how you will contact their managers and feedback, and also what you are accountable for. By clarifying your accountability and your authority and if things go bad, what will kind of get you in trouble or what will make the project go bad will help the team members feel more engaged in the process. Allow team members to have a discussion about their goals, expectations, potential contribution, and their desired team roles. Ask them for their concerns and how they want to see the team operate. Sometimes in team concerns, we will lead a pre-mortem. A pre-mortem is identifying with the team all the things that could possibly go wrong or go bad with this team project. And then from each of those areas or lists of parts that will go wrong, identifying what we can do to avoid or to ameliorate those issues inside the project team. Also, create a list of preliminary project stakeholders. Once you have those stakeholders identified, you can then match team members to those stakeholders to increase the relationship. As the meeting's going along, make a list of any action items related to the team member concerns, update the project charter, and prepare for the next meeting. Get a date on the calendar for the next meeting, evaluate the meeting. In the meeting evaluation, I recommend you utilize the following 3 areas to focus on. What was distinctive and unique about our team and team meeting? What went relatively well in this meeting? What can we improve next time? Document those things. Make a note that after the meeting, you're going to type up what was distinctive about the meeting, what went well, and the improvement items, and you're going to show a way to improve those improvement items in the next meeting. Close the meeting and then let folks go. Here's an example of how we use this inside an organization. It was inside a hospital. So one project manager was given the task of reducing new patient admitted approval process time from over a month to 24 hours. She knew the task was possible because the competitors were already admitting more newly qualified patients within 24 hours, and the other divisions of her organization were close to meeting that goal. Before the first meeting, she assembled and organized all the best practices she could find. The team she had been assigned was made up of representatives of nursing, clinical care, admissions, and payment processing. So at the first meeting, she assigned implementation of each best practice to the appropriate team member. The team members seemed cooperative and nobody objected to his or her assignments. So the project manager was surprised when at the next team meeting, nothing was getting accomplished. This challenge of getting things accomplished happened team meeting after team meeting after team meeting. So the team leader decided to suspend the project, put it on hold, and discuss with the team why things were not going well. The team members were quiet at first, but soon issues began to surface. They had no written charter for the project team, so team members were not sure if they were supposed to actually do the work, take the advice, give feedback, or just do what they're told. Some of the team members had never even met the project manager before, so they had no idea who she was or what power she had in the organization. Total strangers to the process. Lack of orientation, lack of clarifying who, didn't build trust. All the team members knew was that the most significant delays of new patient admittance in the approval process came because people sending patients to them did not always get the documentation up front. Yet, there was nobody from the places that sent the patients on the team. Finally, a few members admitted they were afraid they would be eliminating their jobs if they improved the process. Nobody from the target process on the team, no clarification in charter, no strong system built. The project manager asked the project sponsor to step into the meeting, and together they drafted a new team charter, outlined the benefits for all in improving the approval time. The sponsor was able to reassure the team that no one's going to lose their jobs, there'll be plenty of work for them to do, and they'll be able to actually do their work more effectively. Representatives from some of the patient referral agencies, outside stakeholders, were added to the project team. The team eventually reached its goal, but it took the team more than a month of lost time because the team leader didn't slow things down in the beginning to walk through the team leader checklist I shared with you and to ensure the project agenda in the first meeting went off well. So in this team task update process and skill building system, you have to ensure that we have, why are we together? What's the project charter? Who's doing what? What are the boundaries? Who's on the team? Meaning identifying the skill sets, the connections, the social, and also the internal ability and drive plus time to get the work done. And the third part is clearly documenting what's expected and how folks get the work done. So if you can go through these checklists and understand them, I can guarantee you, you'll have a higher opportunity or higher odds of getting your project team to be successful. Thanks. I'm Mike Cardus. Talk to you soon.